Welcome back to the Black Flash Boxing channel, and here is our new segment we're going to be doing. It's a podcast. So our first guest we've got on today is George Colleen. How are you, George?
Not bad. What about yourself?
Not too bad at all. Obviously, first guest on here. A little bit nervous?
Getting a bit used to it now.
Used to being in front of the cameras. Obviously, before we started, you were saying you were just training this morning. How is it training underneath Pat and being a part of Black Flash? Obviously, you're Black Flash through and through. Since you were little, you've been in and involved around the gym and the team and the people. How is it training under Pat?
It's good. It's not easy. It's tough being in that gym every morning in terms of the training and the mental side, but I love it. Like, I've been in that gym since I've been first walked in the gym when I was 8. And I'm 20 now. That was 12 years ago. I didn't quite stick at it because I was just more into football at the time. And then I went back when I was like 11, and then I've been at it for like the last 9 years. So I've always been in and around the gym. I've always knew Pat. I've always knew obviously Tommy, and this was always going to be the plan to go with Black Flash, build up on a small halls, and then in a couple of years, year or two, whatever, we'll step it up, and that's when we'll be on the big stage. But to be part of Black Flash and training under Pat, it's good. I love every minute of it.
It looks like you do whenever you're in there, whenever you're doing anything for Black Flash, you always give it your all. Mention then about the shows. How is it fighting on them shows? Because obviously, small hall shows, but the audience is just getting bigger and bigger. How is that for you? Obviously, it's such a young age. How do you find that?
It's good. Like, we say small hall, but look at the last show. You know what I mean? 2 title fights, Commonwealth title. There's probably 2,000 people there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really. It's a small hall show because it's not televised, but it's a big show. You know, it's a big small hall show kind of thing. So it's just good to be a part of. Like, Lyndon Zelfer have come through it. Nick Ball was on the shows. He's fighting for a world title. Like, the platform's there. It shows that if you keep winning on these, keep climbing the ranks, then you're gonna push yourself to where you can't be denied.
Of course, and obviously you are one of them that pushes yourself inside of the gym and outside of the gym. But stepping back a little bit, what does your life look like when you're not in the ring or when you're not training? How are you when you're not inside of that ring?
To be fair, like, some people say, like, they're surprised like I'm a boxer. You know, if you see me, like, I don't really come across as like a fighter. But I think it's kind of, you've got to make that switch. Like, you have your day-to-day life doing whatever, but then when you go into the gym, you've got to switch that switch, or when you're obviously getting in the ring, you've got to make that switch again. So but when I'm not in the gym, I just like to chill out. Like, obviously I do like going to United, seeing my mates and stuff, but just chill out really. I don't really, most 20-year-olds will be in the clubs and that, but it's not my scene. I'd rather just be in the gym and follow my dream.
Of course, and we've seen on a couple of the Black Flash channels that rivalry you had with Pat in terms of United when there was that derby game. Yeah. How important is it for you to have that outlet of like letting off a bit of steam going into a game? How important is that for you as a fighter?
Yeah, it's good because it's like boxing is everything, but it can't be everything 24/7 in the terms of you've got to switch off. Like, you can't just be thinking about boxing all day, every day. As much as it's in your mind anyway, you've kind of got to have a switch off. So whether that's going to the game, seeing your mates, doing something with your family, whatever, like, you can't just be boxing. As you are anyway, just because it's in your mind, it just going round, you're always thinking about what you're doing in the gym tomorrow, what you've done today, but you have got to have that switch off. So yeah, that was funny with Pat. Unfortunately, City won, but...
Did he end up eating the sweets in front of you?
Nah, he didn't.
He give you that little bit of, a little bit back. Touching on United, how long have you been going to the games there? Have you been going since you were a kid? Is it something that developed a little bit later?
Yeah, since I've been a kid. I think I might have been about 6 or something. I think my first game was like Blackburn with my dad. But it's just, I've always had that bond with my dad, so whether that's going to the game, watching the fights, it's kind of good to have a close relationship with both my mum and dad, but obviously I just go to the game with my dad. But yeah, since I've been a kid.
Going to see United, is that Old Trafford, home and away? Because we've seen a few away games you've gone to. How is it going to the away games whilst obviously camp's still a big part of...
Well, I don't really, because it's like, say for example, they're playing in London or something and I'm training, I won't be there. Yeah. But it's good. I like going on the Europe aways and that. It's good to be a part of, really.
Has there been a favourite game that you've been to, whether it be home game or away game you've travelled to? It's one that stands out for you.
It's a tough one. I'll have to have a think about that. Not the last few years anyway. It's just been pastings.
Tough question, but has there been a favourite game? I know it's a bit hard where you've gone to and they've lost, but whether it's something that you've happened before the game or who you've gone with, where you've still like enjoyed going.
I think I went to the Bayern Munich game in September with my mate, and then I knew a few lads there, me and Lewis, and we got beat, but it was just, you're kind of not too optimistic, like Bayern Munich away, but it's just good to be a part of, and it's just a good ground, and like it's memories.
Memories.
So it's one of them.
Touching off like a bit away from United now, you spoke a bit before about goals and you set your mind to things. Have you got any goals for this year? Because obviously, new year, 2024, still fighting on Black Flash. You've got that show coming up. Have you got any goals in terms of boxing or maybe outside of boxing that you've thought, this is what I want to achieve this year, this is how I want to do it?
Yeah, I've always got goals, like, I've always got aspirations, whether it's short term, mid term, long term. Like, I have got dreams because I think it helps me. Like, you know, if you have a target and a plan to set to. So, like, at the start of the year, I did write like goals down and that. Some personal ones, some just in the boxing and that. But I just want to keep winning and keep learning and keep building. It sounds boring, but over time, I'll just get better and better. So I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, keep winning. Hopefully, get to like 9, 10-0 maybe by the end of the year. Hopefully, get 5 fights, maybe 6. I don't know. We'll see. But just keep winning, to be honest.
Keep winning, that's always the goal. Obviously, you touched in a few interviews earlier on this year, maybe towards the end of last year, about that goal you have and still do have to move from 4 to 6 rounds. Is that something that we could see this year, do you reckon?
100%. Not the next show, but maybe 2 more 4-rounders that'll take me to 6 fights. Might even be on 8 by the end of the year, maybe just 6. We'll just see. We'll just let the progression naturally occur, do you know what I mean? But definitely being 6 rounds this year.
Definitely. Is that, as a boxer, is that kind of a next step up in terms of you are pro, you are winning, obviously 4 fights, undisputed that you've won all 4. Is that like a next big step up for you, do you think?
Yeah, and as well, obviously, I'm 20, so I am eager.
Yeah.
So I said to Pat, he's like, no, you're not ready yet. But that's good because I need someone that'll just ground me. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the fact that, like, we've got a plan. Whereas, obviously, I'm winning, I'm thinking, I could have maybe knocked him out if it was 6 rounds. But that's just me being eager and young. Yeah. But then at the end of the day, you've got to look at that. I'm 20 years old. I've got a lot of years in this game. So if I'm on 4-rounders for another couple of fights, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. And obviously, you fight in December on that huge Black Flash sold-out card. How was that for you? Because that's probably the biggest crowd you've fought in front of. How was that? It
was good, you know. I had a good opponent as well, to be fair. He had a good win at bowlers last year. He knocked some guy out, so I knew he was no mug. But I felt like I boxed well. I thought that was my best performance. And that's what I want. I just want to keep getting better each fight. Obviously, it was a good show to be on. Good headline fights. Yeah, it was just good to be a part of.
Have you watched anything back from that fight? Obviously, I know you were in the zone before it. Was there a fight on that card that you thought that was like my fight of the night?
Well, obviously Jack Raffett, it was probably performance because he just blew him out in the first round. But Lewis Wood, I'm buzzing for him. He's my mate, like in the gym and that, and I'm just buzzing for him because he had a bit of a tough year. And, like, if he had a defeat in that, and the way he bounced back and put on a performance, I'm just buzzing for him.
Is that something that you do together? Because even though you are training for your own fight, you are quite close friends. So is that something that you saw a different side to, maybe that different look at boxing?
I suppose so, yeah, because you're kind of just so concentrated on your fight. But when it's done, you obviously you're happy for your mates because they are your mates. You know, we're together every day. You probably see your gym mates more than your actual mates because it's like work, innit?
Yeah.
But when you take a step back and you're just buzzing for him, happy for Lewis to win that title.
Obviously, he's fighting again in February when you are. So you seem to be going through it together. Is that nice that you've got somebody kind of same goals, same timeline as you?
Yeah, it's good because we're obviously all training together, all like making weight together. Like, what weight are you? This, you know what I mean? You're kind of in it together. Like, everyone's dieting, everyone's like, we're just doing the same training. Everyone don't fight on the same day because obviously you've got Zelfa, Linden there on the different shows. Rizard and Leighton there fighting a month later, I think. But there's like 3, 4, 5 of us that are on the same show, so we're kind of in it together.
Is that how it is? It's like little groups of yous down at Collyhurst.
We're obviously one big group, but in terms of the fact that there's a little group of us fighting on the same show, we're kind of in that together. So yeah. we're like in the same training camp kind of thing. You know, the same runs. Like, we'll be finishing our sprints at the same time, so it's kind of like together.
together from the start, well, to the end really, won't we? Because you just fight, you get to see each other's
Yeah,
fights
that's what I mean.
sometimes.
Yeah, we're all in the change rooms together. It's a good laugh, to be fair. Yeah.
How was it, obviously, in the build-up to the fight, that moment before, that probably the cameras don't get to see? How are you in terms of that hour or so before that first bell goes?
I just like to get in the zone. Me, don't really like talking to anyone. To be fair, I just get my headphones in straight. Just get my mind on the job. Matt wraps my hands, get shadow boxing, get stretched out, get warmed up, get the gloves on the pads with Pat, and then it's just focused on the job. To be fair.
Do you have a playlist? You got a set playlist for fight night?
Do you know what? Not really.
No.
I did on Spotify, and I've just gone back to Apple Music, so I need to sort it out, to be honest.
Oh, you've made that switch again.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get one sorted. But I listen to the same kind of music. Do you know what I mean?
What type of music do you listen to before the fight?
Before the fight, just like I listen to any music, but before the fight, it'll probably just be like ones that motivate me.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't be a mix of music, but there's some certain songs that just like give you that little extra 5%.
Which songs are there? You willing to? Or are they
Not
some
really.
that wouldn't look?
Probably get roasted in front of my mates. No, but just a mix, to be honest.
It's a good mix.
Yeah.
Is that something that you could possibly, one of them maybe make it to a walkout song one day, or would the?
Yeah. I need that set walkout song, I think, because some people build the career off like a song,
Yeah.
but I've just not found it. Like I just don't know what song to have yet, to be honest.
Could that one of them possible secret little build-up music?
Yeah, probably.
Make
Yeah.
it free.
Yeah. I just need to have a think.
Obviously, December was massive for you. It was part of that 10-year show, but then many people know this, not literally less than 24 hours after, you're prepping to go to Saudi Arabia to watch Lyndon. What an experience at 20 years old. One of the biggest fights, biggest cards really boxing's had in a while.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was unbelievable, to be honest. Like, I was doing all my training with Lyndon, so we'd train in the morning, and then we'd be going to the village at night running. So I was kind of involved with him, you know what I mean, in terms of the fight and the build up to the fight. And you probably don't realise how big it actually is. Like, Dimitri Bivol is one of the biggest names in boxing. He'll go down as like a Hall of Fame fighter probably. So to be involved in it, and then to obviously go and just, even before it, like seeing what he's doing in the day. Like at the end of the day, Lyndon's like my mate, but I'm looking at like one day hopefully I'll be in that type of fight. So I'm just taking it all in, the whole day, like, and then going to the show. What happens before it in terms of like when the referees come in and like it gets real. I've never seen that before, so it's kind of good just to be behind the scenes and just be a part of it.
Was there, obviously we'd seen you'd met some pretty cool people, was there a favourite person over there that you bumped into?
Well, Ronaldo like walked past, so I just took the opportunity. I just started videoing it, and then I just screenshotted it. Yeah, when he kind of like looked like, who's this weirdo? But then McGregor stopped. Obviously I love Ronaldo, but I like McGregor because I just like his story. Like he's come from a building site just like I did, and it just gives me a bit of motivation. Do you know what I mean? So
how was that? Did you end up having a chat with Conor?
Nah, I didn't have a chat with him, but he like stopped and shook my hand and that. So I thought, fair play to you.
Oh, must have been a pretty cool experience,
Yeah,
obviously, going over there, just out of a camp, and see all these people that are a bit further down the career.
Yeah, massively, but it's good, and fair play to him that he stopped and had a picture and that. Shook his hand, so fair play to Conor McGregor.
Was that one of your highlights?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Obviously, you went over there to watch Lyndon. You train with Lyndon, he's one of your close friends. How was it sat back in that seat? Obviously, you're not in the ring yourself. How was it watching the fight from a supporter thing, obviously? Close friend in there. How was that experience?
To be fair, I think I was more nervous for that than my own. It's mad, like, when I see my mates fighting or people from the gym, it feels like I'm in more of a fight than my actual own. It's mad, because you see it from the outside, like, it's pretty dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't realise, like, when I'm fighting, you just crack on.
Yeah.
But you don't actually realise it's a dangerous sport, especially at the top level. So it was good. I enjoyed it, to be honest. Lyndon did well, man.
He did really well. He did outstanding. Was it one of them when you go back to the changing rooms? How was that vibe, obviously, coming home? How was that experience?
At the end of the day, Lyndon's a winner, and he fell short, but you've got to kind of look at the positives. Like, you got a fight against Bivol on 4 weeks' notice. when he had a bit of an injury, he went the distance, didn't make no shame of himself. So it's kind of like a win in its own right, but it's not,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day he's a winner and he didn't win, but there's positives to take, do you know what I mean? So it weren't like morbid, like dead down.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, it was just one of them.
Obviously, that was quite close to Christmas, that fight. How was it, obviously, finishing your camp, going to Saudi Arabia, then coming back for Christmas? How'd you find that?
Good. Well, some idiot didn't check in on his flight home, so I missed the flight. Landed at 11 o'clock Christmas morning, so I missed Santa. And,
Sadder.
But yeah, it was a good experience.
Was
Funny.
it worth maybe being a little bit
yeah,
late
it was
back?
worth it. It is what it is. I'll learn for next time to check in.
Definitely. How was that? Was there a few comments from people at home when you
Yeah.
messaged them that text?
Yeah, I think my mum was worried in that, but I'm alright.
You were alright. You got
Yeah.
back in the end.
Yeah.
But overall, that was a
No, it was a good experience.
good experience.
100%.
Was it probably, obviously we're saying you were more nervous for that than your own fight. Is that, do you reckon that's something you'll take with you when you go into your next fight, watching it from the outside?
Probably, yeah, but I think when it's you kind of it's just different, I think, because you're in like the first person. It's just you, and you don't really think about what could happen bad, because it's just a fight, it's you and another man. But I suppose so, yeah, it was just a good experience that I'll take into the future, and especially, hopefully one day when I'm in big fights like that.
You've got that experience, it's not first hand because
No.
you've seen it with Linda.
Exactly, yeah.
Obviously, you touched a bit on there about the mental side of boxing. How is that? Because even though you train in a big team, it is quite a lonely sport once you're in there.
100%. At the end of the day, at the start of the fight, you walk back and you walk forward, your coach walks back. Like, you're going there and your coach walks back. So Pat's done it, with Brian. Like, at the end of the day, you've got a coach, but it's down to you. It's down to you to take on board what Pat's told me and do that in the ring. And boxing is 90% mental. Like, you can be as fit as you want, strong as you are, but if you're not strong here, then you're going to get taken out. Because if you go in a ring with one bit of negativity, then you're probably not going to win. Because if you can't believe it and you don't believe in yourself, or you're not confident in what you've got to go out and do, you're probably not going to do it. So boxing is 100% mental, 99% mental.
Is that something that you touched on at the start that Pat helps train you for, not just the boxing side of it?
Yeah.
But that?
Yeah, but Pat says, like, he's not just a boxing coach. Pat's not there to hold pads, and he's a mind coach who gets in your mind and makes you believe in yourself. And I think that's important. You don't get that these days, I don't think. You won't see Pat 10-punch combinations on the pads. Pat's a real boxing coach, and you don't really get that. He's like, we'll work on things and he'll get it in your head. He'll get it in your head more than you'll do it physically, because that's where it is. And if you can do it here and you can see it here, then you can do it in the ring.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, that's something that you'll keep all that with you when you do progress to stuff like you mentioned earlier on, well, towards the end of last year, about them goals, maybe fighting for a belt. That's something that you've got to learn to deal with and learn good ways to keep that mental strength up.
Yeah.
To be able to get to them places.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm at the bottom now, but I believe in my head that this is just the start of the journey. Like, I'm at the bottom of the ladder, but one day I will be at the top. So I just have to keep believing, keep dreaming, keep working hard, and then hopefully one day it'll happen.
Is there anything that you do maybe to help that extra bit, maybe not in the gym, just to build it up to get you to them places where you can possibly fight for titles in maybe 5 or so years?
Obviously I'm in the gym in the morning, then we'll be on the runs, and then I might go to the gym at night. But you just got to believe it. Like I say, it's mental, so you've got to train your mind. That's what Pat says, you've got to train your mind, whether that's just repeating to yourself like you are capable, because boxing's lonely. Say if you have a bad day in the gym, you go home and you're like, you have demons, do you know what I mean? So you just got to block them out. Yeah,
of course. And that's something that's been in and around boxing, especially this day and age. It's something that is being talked about more. And I think it is important, obviously, like you say, young boxer yourself, but you are noticing that and you are touching on that.
Yeah, 100%, because at the end of the day, you are going to get demons and, stuff like that, in terms of you're going to get them negative voices, but you just got to block them out, be positive as you can, just keep cracking on.
And that's probably been something that you've seen obviously being at Collyhurst since you were little, is that something that's helped seeing that path and seeing there is that support there?
Yeah, 100%, because it's kind of like we know where it's going. We're coming in the gym, training for these fights, winning these fights, and it's not like, oh, where's this going to go? Are we going to get... It's proven that if we keep winning, keep listening to Pat, keep dedicating our life to this sport, then one day there is going to be an opportunity for us to step up, whether that's with any of the promoters or any of the TV stations. Like, we will get our shot, so we just got to keep training, keep believing, and hopefully we'll achieve it.
Definitely. But to get there, you've got to have that support, you've got to have that backing. And you are one of the fighters on Black Flash that do always bring the crowd, the fans, the family. How has it been learning to build that up, obviously, at such a young age?
That's another thing, like, I'm grateful to everyone that buys a ticket and comes and supports, but boxing there's so much more than just getting in the ring. Like, you've got to, like, now it's the start of the year, so I'm getting on with medicals, like, that stress, it's pretty expensive, like, you're stressing about tickets and that. So when everyone's buying tickets and coming out to support, it kind of makes it that little bit easier. Like, you don't have to worry about finances, because if you sell your tickets, you're going to be able to pay for your opponents, and you're going to be able to cover the cost of your next camp and stuff like that, and your medicals. So, but it is hard to get a following, but I'm trying. I've got the boys at United backing me, got my family, got my mates. So I'm grateful to everyone that comes out and supports. And at the end of the day, if you've got a big following in boxing, you're probably going to get looked after by the promoters and get good opportunities. So I've just got to keep trying to push it and stuff.
Definitely. And obviously, you keep touching there on United. Have you got anything lined up this year, maybe after camp? Have you got any games you're thinking of going to?
I've not, I've not. I don't think we'll be in many finals this year, so probably not. But like I was saying, Scully and that, Steve Scully's my mate. He helps get a lot of the United fans backing me. So hopefully that just grows, because it's a big fan base. So
Definitely.
Hopefully one day they'll be able to come and all support me.
You were speaking about like the backing and how important it is to have the stuff going into the fights in terms of financially. Before you had that fight last year, you did qualify for something. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I left school, I did an apprenticeship in electrician course, and then I qualified in that last year. So that's always there, and I always do bits anyway, like with my dad, because my dad's a spark, so I do work for my dad or work for my mate who's a builder and that. So I keep my foot in that and gets a bit of extra money and stuff. But I think it's important, because it's kind of shown me the other side, because obviously I was on a building site for 4 years, and then it's like, but you're on that building site, but at the same time you're just thinking about boxing, because that's your passion. Like, I didn't mind being an electrician, it was alright, but at the end of the day, when you can enjoy doing something, or you can have a passion for something. So I might be in work and I'm just like, if I've got a fight coming up, or I'm just like, I just want to be in the gym. So it's kind of good that I've learnt that it's not just boxing, like, life's hard, in terms of working and stuff like that. So that kind of probably gives me another bit of a push. It's not that I don't want to go back to work, but if I can make a successful life out of this for me and my family and that, then I'm going to do it, and then might not have to go and work as an electrician again. You know what I mean? But if I do, then it's not the end of the world. But my point being is, it just gives you that, like, that's real life. Hopefully I can follow my passion and make it in this sport.
Of course. And was that something that when you mentioned to your dad, like, this is something I still want to do alongside boxing, how was his thoughts and how are your family's thoughts on that? Because obviously boxing focused, but having this just there to work on as well.
Like, works well, because my dad, me and my dad was at the same company where I did my apprenticeship, and then my dad also has his other little job, so I can just work for him on them. Do you know what I mean? So works well, to be honest.
Yeah. Is it nice working alongside your dad?
Yeah, I get along with my dad. It's good.
No little things in between fight.
Not really, no. To be fair.
Oh, it's one of them. But
yeah.
I suppose it's quite nice that you get to see what your dad does, and then he gets to come and see you in your line of work, obviously. Boxing, obviously, on fight night and stuff. So, do you reckon that's quite goes alongside each other? You see him, and he sees you.
Yeah, obviously, I've never thought of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad's always worked hard, so has my mum. Like, I've got an hard working family, so it's kind of been drilled into me, like, you got to work hard if you want to achieve something. Whether that's a holiday, a car, like, whatever, you just got to work. Money don't grow on trees, you know what I mean? So, Yeah, I've never really thought of that. It's kind of good because obviously I've lived as an electrician with my dad and that, and then I'm living as a boxer and my dad's watching that, so it's good.
Oh, that's quite good. And obviously, how was it? Obviously, amateur level, having your dad and stuff there as well. Was that continued with amateur?
Yeah, always had my mum and dad at my fights. All my family really. So I've always had good family support in the boxing. Look, fighting's not for everyone. Like, very close to my granny. Like, she can't come watch me fight because she would just be like screaming and that. But I've always had that good support of Dixie, Scully, my family, everyone.
Is that something maybe just show her clips when you get home or when you go and see her? Just show her the YouTube video. Just show her anything.
Well, after my fight, my uncle Michael ring her and be like, yeah, he's won. So then she'll be like, thank God, you know what I mean? She would have been doing the rosary all night with rosary beads, so she'll be relieved. But then she'll watch it, I think, if she knows I've not been hurt and that.
She knows you're okay.
She'll love watching this stuff, but it's just the fighting, she can't watch it.
Bless her.
Yeah.
See, I think that's quite nice though, because it shows how much your family are involved in what you do. It's not just George is a pro boxer, it's they live and breathe it as much as you do, really.
It's good because you see it, like, boxing's tough. Like, you see obviously Mayweather and that, like the top, Fury, but at the bottom it's hard because there's so many people like me sat here, but there's only not many make it. Like 1% of boxers make it, but I believe that I'll be in that 1%. You've got to in your mind, or there's just you might as well pack your bags and not box again.
Definitely.
Because you've got to believe that you are gonna achieve something, and I do. So it's good to have my family supporting me and my friends and stuff.
Was that something that kind of wanted you to make that switch to boxing when you were younger? Was they kind of helping that decision, or was it something you just thought, I'll give boxing a go?
Well, like in school I weren't the best behaviour. I was probably needed a bit of discipline in that. So my dad took me to the gym, but it was also when he took me to watch Crawler. That gave me a bit of motivation, and I just thought, yeah, I want to be a part of this, boxing. It just always stuck out to me. Must have always had Rocky on the telly or something as a kid. But it's just always seen boxing as like something I wanted to do. And then, like I say before, first walked into the gym when I was 8, didn't stick out because I love football. And then it got to a point where I just wanted to box instead of playing football, and then not look back.
So that massive switch from maybe being the next star at Old Trafford to being the next Manchester star in boxing.
Hopefully. But I love football as a kid, but I don't know, just when I properly started boxing, it was like I'd be boxing and then going football, and it was like it's too much for my mum and dad, and like just too much, not enough time. So it was just boxing, and then I've just stuck at it.
You made that switch to lace up the boots, but then lace up the gloves.
Yeah. Well, I was a goalkeeper, so I've just swapped gloves.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that being a goalkeeper, obviously at a young age? Was it that made you want to switch to something a bit more?
I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. I didn't play for the best team, so probably didn't enjoy that much, but I played for school. We won a few things, so I weren't too bad, but I was small, and like I've grew now, but probably as a kid, like 10, 11, I was probably like, not sure, 5'6" or something, 5'7", and when you're playing in full-size nets, like, you're a bit lost. Whereas now, it might have been a bit better, but I weren't too bad. It was just, I enjoyed it.
You've always been into sports, obviously goalkeeping's very much feet and hands. Boxing is feet and hands.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been
I've always been into sport, like even swimming and like cycling, and like I've always been active as a kid. Never been like sat behind like the PlayStation too much. And I think that's important to be active in that.
I suppose that helps obviously when you were going through the amateur ranks, preparing to turn over. Being that active as a kid, it helps towards that goal, really.
That's what I mean, like I've always been active, I've always been busy. So now that's why it's a bit of a different lifestyle, because say when I was working, I'd be up at 6, start work at 7, come home, finish at like 4, be home for 5, in the gym for 5:30, finish, go running. Like literally not stopping all day till you're in bed. And whereas now I've got a bit more time, because I might not be up till maybe 8, in the gym at 10 till 12, 1. We're training on the sprints at 5, and then I'll train again later or maybe just go in the sauna, steam, relax, and then I'll do like my bits of foreigners with my dad and stuff in between. But I've kind of got a bit more time now, whereas as an apprentice and working and training, it was just like busy, whereas now I've just got a bit more time.
obviously that helps you massively because your schedule is not that busy. It helps you when you're not boxing to focus on them goals.
That's what I mean. Like you've got time to actually think about what you're doing, what you need to do. You can study boxing, you can just do different things, whereas it's not like 100 mile an hour all day. So I've got time to actually, if I train in the morning and Pat's told me something, I can go home while thinking about let that sink in. Whereas Pat's told me to do something with my jab or my footwork. Like this morning, I can actually go home and think about what I need to do tomorrow or Friday in sparring. So it is good that you've got that little bit of extra time and time to think.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it'll help you process what he's said rather than, right, he said this, now to work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you can't just, Pat says it all the time, like you got to start from where you finished yesterday. You've got to take off. You can't just stop and like brush it under the carpet. Then you're back to square one again. So today we was working on something tomorrow. So today I was on the pads. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing that on the bag. And then I'm thinking for myself then, because you're on the pads, someone's holding them. Or it's not just straightforward as that, but you're not 100% thinking for yourself because there's someone holding the pads, whereas on a bag it's a stationary punch bag, so you've got to think for yourself. You know, and then but I can think about what I need to do and then what I can do on the pads, do on the bags in sparring, and then in sparring in the fight. So it kind of all just transforms, but it's thinking. Like you've got to think about what you're actually going to do.
Yeah, boxing is one of them sports where there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes in terms of planning it in your head mentally. It goes back to that mental strength. That's massive for boxing. But that pattern of do it on the pads, practice it on the bag, put it into sparring, is that something that helps you in the ring? Because obviously, looking into this, you've never lost a round. Is that something that obviously helps to add to that?
Yeah, 100%, because like, prepare to fail. What is it? Fail to prepare or prepare to fail? Bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't put the work in and you cut corners, and you might get away with it at this level. Well, on my debut I boxed a kid that was coming to winning record. I would have lost that night if I weren't on it. Do you know what I mean? So you have got to be on it and you have got to put in the work. So, like I say before, it is mental. So you've got to plan it here and then you put it in law of attraction. Like you believe in something and it happens.
Yeah, because that's something we've seen from your first fight in May to the one in December. That pattern was always still there of you said something, maybe it was one of these interviews or an interview, and we've seen it. That's something that you've always been quite good at. Yeah,
because say I say something now, it's because I'm thinking about it, it's because I'm planning it, like, and then I'll put it into practice in the fight. So kind of just every camp I'm working on new things behind the scenes with Pat or at home, you know, in my head what I'm going to do. So when I do it, it's kind of like a bit of a win in itself.
And you've touched on the gym you've got at home. Is that something that obviously your dad helps you in there, you do stuff on your own in there? Is that just like another outlet for you to distract yourself?
Yeah, I suppose so. And as well, I train like young kids and that. So I train a few young lads are like only 6, 7, some 10, whatever. But it's good because I was there once.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's mad. It's like boxing's just a cycle. So say when I was young, Zelfa and Linda might have been turning pro and they might have been looking at someone that was a champion. Whereas now it's like, I'm the one that's turning pro, Zelfa and Linda are the champion, and then there's this kid starting. It's kind of just like a cycle, so it's good to kind of not give back, but give back in a way to the younger generation and help them out and bring them through.
How is it, obviously, when you step into the shoes that Pat's in really with you, when you're there and you're telling these kids stuff for the one-to-ones, is that maybe something? Yeah,
it's good because I think I've got a decent boxing brain. Like I know my way around a boxing ring. I know how to box. So if I can help a young kid box, obviously I'm not George Colleen as a coach to these little kids is nothing like Pat is to me. But if I can pass on a bit of knowledge to a young kid starting up, then it's a positive.
Yeah, that's massive, really. Have you ever been to watch any of the fights, or the kids just come to you for one-to-ones just for a bit of...
They're kind of too young. Like I train a few lads that are like 7, 7, 8, so it's you can't box till you're 10. But by the time they're 10, mate, it'll be class. Swear to God.
Does that give you maybe something to think about in the long future? Maybe, possibly.
I've never thought about like after, because I'm just here now living it. Got a long career ahead of me, but I enjoy coaching it. I enjoy holding the pads and that.
Gives you that insight, maybe stepping in Pat's shoes.
Maybe one day.
He's always been quite good in terms of Pat in that sense. The directions that he gives and the instructions that he gives, it comes off a lot on the stuff that people maybe see on social media and clips. But does it stick in your brain that well?
100%. Like, I love Pat. I love training with Pat. Like, if he shouts at us, it's not to be a dick. It's because he wants us to learn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's Pat's way of, not all the time. Like today, he didn't shout me on the pads once, but he spoke to me in a way that I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
That's just how Pat is. You know what I mean? He's real. He's an honest guy. What you see is what you get. But Pat wants the best for all of us, and I think Pat's a world-class coach. Me, not just in on the pads and the knowledge he gives, like the way he wants to plan our career. Like Pat's my manager, my coach, my promoter, my matchmaker. Like Pat does everything.
Wow.
Like Pat's busy. Pat's just not a coach. He's here in the office now.
Man of many talents.
Probably on the phone planning fights and that. So it's like Pat says something because he wants us to learn and be the best we can be.
Of course. And it is proven with Pat. Obviously, you can see it around this room now. It's just filled with.
Yeah, look, Pat's been
memories.
a champion himself, so it's not like he's just bounced in off the street waffling. You know, he's done it. He's telling us if we want to be where he's been, British European champion, go on to further possibly. Like, listen to him because he's done it.
And that belt is just
it's
above
right
you.
yeah. Hopefully I'll have one day.
Is that a goal of yours that you're hoping to set?
100%, yeah. Love to be a British champion. Any title, like, hopefully first title I win will be a central area. I just think it's good to go the proper route, like central area, English, British, Commonwealth, European and world, you know what I mean? Like, I think it just looks good, you know, that you've started from the bottom.
Definitely. And that's something you are quite good at in terms of you plan how you want to get there and you think, like you've just said then, the central, and then you'll plan it up. That's always been drilled into your head.
Yeah, it has, because even since I've been a young amateur, like, I've always watched boxing. You see world titles on the TV, but then if you was just a boxing fan on TV, you might not know about central area titles and eliminators. But whereas when you're built and the small old shows are there in front of you, like, you understand it and understand the game, like, to come from the bottom and to pick them titles up, I think it's a good achievement.
Definitely. And now you're next out in February. Not long to go, is it just under 6 weeks?
4 weeks on Saturday.
4 weeks, wow.
Month today, yeah.
A month today. Is there any last bits preparations you're doing, or is it just same?
This is just like the next 3 weeks will be just hard training, like sparring, pads, circuits, sprints, on that hill in Factory Brew. Like, it's hard work, and then the last week it's kind of just about making weight and tapering down, sharpening up. So it's kind of every camp's something new, but it's kind of the same, you know, because it's just the same hard work that we're putting in.
And obviously on your camp last time round, you had that day before weighing. How was that to experience that day before weighing?
Good, it was better. I'm a guy that's big for the middleweight, so it's gives you a bit of an extra boost, I think, to weigh-in day before, and it's kind of more real. Whereas, you know, when you're weighing in at like 4 o'clock and you're fighting at 7, you've only got 3 hours to eat and like fuel up.
Yeah.
You get on with it, you crack on, still win, but whereas it's day before, it's just better, and it's just experience for the future.
Yeah. Takes you back to when you spoke about before about London and seeing how the bigs do it, really, that fight week.
That's what I mean,
kind of mimicking it perfectly.
Yeah. So if I weigh in day before, that's how it'll be when I fight for a title. So it's kind of, and then I pick up things off like the boys that I've weighed in day before, because like the weigh-in's important. If you get the weight wrong, then you're in trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because your body will give up on you. A lot of people don't see that making weight in boxing is massive, and you got to do it correct. Like, if you do it wrong, your body will give up on you.
Is there any steps that you take in terms of that? In terms of weight making, is there any processes that you have?
I don't do all that water loading and that. might need to in the future and extreme weight cuts, but not right now. I don't need to do that. Just eat clean, diet, plenty of fluids and that. Try and do it proper, to be fair.
It's obviously, it's massive in boxing to do it the proper way around because there's so many things that can go wrong. You try and take shortcuts like you mentioned before.
Yeah.
It's massive really. And there's so many aspects to it that you've touched on today. Whether it's the mental side of it or training from a kid and having that strong family backing or the backings that you build at like United, that all helps to go.
It all, like, you obviously see the puzzle in the ring, but it's like there's a lot of it's a bigger picture. You know, everything just comes together. Everyone that supports you, and you know, everything just comes together on fight night. Definitely,
and it's been amazing chatting to you today. But just before we go, something that we are going to start doing on here is just quick fire questions. Is that all right? Just a quick.
Yeah.
First thing that comes to your head. So, who is your favourite fighter?
Got a few, you know.
If you had to pick
probably top three.
Who was your top three then?
Probably like Tyson Fury. Obviously, Crowley's retired. Probably Golovkin.
Oof. They're solid three, that really. And then your favourite food?
Probably like Italian.
If you got a favourite, maybe Italian.
Probably like bolognese. I'm pretty simple, me, to be honest. Bolognese and a big garlic bread will do me.
Oh, do you? Right after the fight? Or maybe day after me?
Day after.
Day after.
Yeah. At the night, it'll just be like McDonald's or something. Domino's.
Have you got a song that you're thinking, or you mentioned before, like a walkout song? Have you got one of them lined up, maybe?
Nah, I've not got one set. Every time from my last few fights, I've literally just picked like 2 days before, so I just need to think. Yeah.
Favourite fight that you've ever watched?
Probably Fury Wilder, because I was there. It was like, wow, it's just unbelievable. You know, the first one when he got up, it was like you're having an heart attack, thinking, oh, it's done, and then he got up, and it's just like unbelievable.
Wow, but that was an experience.
Yeah, it was.
That's massive. And then you mentioned it a little bit before, but your dream venue to boxing?
Madison Square Garden, probably.
Oof, it's a solid selection, that, George.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, and can't wait to see you obviously back out in February, and obviously the bits before it. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, nice one.
And we'll be doing another one of these shortly, but thank you for watching.